Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a drop of motivation and deep perspective. Today's message is for those who are fighting battles no one sees, those who are walking a lonely road, fueled by a dream only they can understand. This is for the ones who refuse to quit, even when the world tells them to. If you're ready to embrace your journey, to become the person you were meant to be, and to find the strength that already lives inside you, this video is for you. Let's begin. Section 1. The silence of the unseen. Battle. Not everyone will grasp the purpose behind your journey, and truthfully, they're not supposed to. People judge from the surface because that's all they're capable of seeing. They interpret your intensity as obsession, your discipline as extremism, and your sacrifices as recklessness. Why? Because your mission was never meant to be understood by the average mindset. You're chasing a future self that they've never envisioned, a version of you that's forged in discipline, strengthened by solitude, and relentless in the pursuit of growth. The applause doesn't matter. The validation doesn't matter. What matters is becoming the person you know you were born to be, regardless of how many people call you crazy along the way. They'll tell you to take it easy, to enjoy life more, to stop being so hard on yourself. But what they don't see are the silent contracts you've made with your own soul, the promises to never settle, never retreat, and never break under pressure. They weren't there on the nights you stared at the ceiling, questioning whether it was all worth it. They don't feel the weight in your chest every time you fall short, but refuse to quit. They don't see the hours you pour into your craft when no one is watching, the early mornings, the skipped parties, the quiet sacrifices. To them, you're just too intense. But to you, you're building something they can't comprehend, a legacy. People are often intimidated by what they can't categorize, and your drive doesn't fit into their boxes. You weren't made to blend in, you were made to rise. And that process comes with misunderstanding. They won't understand the nights you worked through exhaustion, or the days you kept pushing through pain. They won't see the tears you wiped away in silence, or the fear you faced without flinching. What they see is the outcome, the polished version. But they'll never understand the grit, the hunger, and the internal wars it took to get there. And maybe that's the point. What's sacred isn't meant to be seen by everyone. What's sacred is meant to be earned, through sweat, through effort, and through unrelenting persistence. So don't waste your energy trying to be understood. That's not your mission. Your mission is to evolve, to rise above the limitations others project onto you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because while they talk, you build. While they rest, you train. While they coast, you climb. The truth is, if your journey made sense to everyone, it probably wouldn't be worth taking. Greatness is always misunderstood at first. Stay focused, stay grounded, and above all, stay faithful to the vision only you can see. Section 2. The price of purpose. There will always be voices trying to pull you off the path. Voices that whisper comfort, that offer shortcuts, that promise an easier way. They'll question your intensity, mock your sacrifices, and call your discipline too much. But you know something they don't. The easy road never leads to excellence. It leads to regret. It leads to a watered-down version of who you could have been. Greatness demands everything: your focus, your resilience, your unwillingness to settle. And while the world may try to sell you comfort as success, you've chosen a different path, one that requires you to keep moving forward even when everything in you screams to stop. You're building something invisible to the outside world, a mindset, a standard, a future that doesn't yet exist. They won't see the early alarms you set while they're still asleep. They won't see the hours you put in when everyone else clocks out. They don't notice the choices you make daily. To eat with discipline, to study instead of scroll, to train when your body aches. And they don't have to. You're not doing this for the audience. You're doing this for the person in the mirror, the version of you who refuses to live a life that blends in. That kind of ambition won't be understood by everyone, but it doesn't need to be. Let them talk. You'll let your actions speak louder than their opinions ever could. There will be moments when it feels like no one sees you, when your progress feels invisible and your effort goes unrecognized. That's when the belief in yourself has to be louder than the noise around you. You have to be your own source of motivation, your own cheerleader, your own reason to keep going. When people say you're wasting your time, when they laugh at your discipline, when they shrug off your goals, keep going. Because this is your life. and the consequences of quitting will be yours alone. No one else has to carry that. So why would you let them dictate your direction? They didn't start this journey with you, and they won't be the ones finishing it. What matters most is your why, that inner fire that no one else can define or extinguish. You have to know exactly why you get up every morning and choose the hard road. Is it for freedom? For growth? For your family? For the younger version of you who never believed it was possible? That clarity is everything. Keep it sharp. Let it guide you through the doubts, the detours, and the discomfort. When the world pushes against you, anchor yourself in that purpose. Because in a world full of distractions and diluted ambition, knowing your why and living by it is a rare kind of power. Section 3. The courage to be unrelatable. They'll call you delusional, unreasonable, obsessive. But remember this, the ones who are labeled crazy are often the ones who leave a mark. The world has never been changed by those who followed the rules, stayed inside the lines, or played it safe. It's the rebels, the misfits, and the visionaries who reshape the world around them. The people who dare to imagine what doesn't yet exist, and then refuse to rest until they build it. So when they question your dream, smile, because their confusion is a sign you're on the right path. They don't get it now, but someday they might. And when they do, they'll realize it was never madness. It was mastery in the making. You weren't made for comfort zones. You weren't built to follow the script handed down by others. You're here to challenge the standard, to elevate the game, and to leave a legacy that won't fade when the spotlight moves on. Let them laugh. Let them talk. Let them project their fears onto your future. That doesn't change your power, your purpose, or your potential. Most people never chase their dreams, not because they don't have them, but because they're too afraid of failing publicly. You've chosen courage over comfort. And one day, when your results speak louder than their doubts, they'll remember how bold you were when everyone else played it safe. Every step you take forward is a step away from mediocrity. The long nights, the silent sacrifices, the moments of doubt you turn into discipline, all of it matters. It all adds up. And while the world may not notice your grind today, it will recognize the outcome. Don't seek attention. Seek progress. Don't aim to impress. Aim to improve. Let your results do the talking. There's a quiet kind of power in staying focused while others are distracted. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs a voice. And your voice, your story, is being written right now with every hard decision you make. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down when life tries to break you. That's what separates those who dream from those who build. You're going to get knocked down. People will misunderstand you. You'll make mistakes. But each time you rise, you get stronger. Each time you learn, you sharpen your edge. This is your race, your path, your mission. So block out the noise. Keep your vision front and center. You know what you're building. You know the fire that drives you. And even if no one else gets it, you do. And that's more than enough. Section 4. The strength they'll never understand. Most people won't understand why you push so hard. And honestly, that's not your responsibility to fix. They'll witness your exhaustion, your discipline, your refusal to settle. And they'll ask why. They'll wonder why you don't just slow down, why you always seem to be grinding when everyone else is content. But they're missing the point. The path to greatness was never paved with ease. You're not chasing comfort. You're chasing capacity. You're building strength, character, purpose. The easy road might look tempting, but it never leads anywhere worth going. It's the hard road, the road most people avoid, that transforms you. What they can't see is that this isn't about instant results. This is about legacy. Every hour you invest, every comfort you set aside, every setback you overcome, it's all shaping the person you're becoming. Not just for today or next week, but for years from now when the rest of the world finally sees what you always knew you were capable of. You're not trading time for nothing. You're trading it for a life of impact, of excellence, of freedom. A life most people will never reach. Not because they can't, but because they won't endure what it takes to get there. And one day, when you stand at the top of the mountain they told you not to climb, they'll ask how you did it. They'll want the blueprint, but they won't see the nights you cried in silence, the days you fought self-doubt, the years you showed up without applause. You won't need them to understand by then, because you'll know. You'll know exactly what it cost. You'll know the battles you faced in silence, the storms you walked through alone, the discipline it took when no one believed in you, not even yourself. They'll call you lucky, but you'll know the truth. It was never luck. It was work. The people who question your pace are the ones too afraid to test their own limits. They see your discipline and feel discomfort because it reminds them of what they're not doing. That's not your burden. Keep sacrificing. Keep showing up. Because those sacrifices, they're your edge. That pain, it's forging resilience. That struggle, it's preparing you for levels of success they'll never reach. Because they stopped when it hurt. But you kept going. And that's what sets you apart. Not just the dream, but the price you're willing to pay for it. And in the end, that price becomes your power. Section 5. This path is yours alone. When people question your drive, when they stare blankly at your ambition, confused by the fire that keeps you moving, remind yourself, they don't have to get it. They're not the ones living in your shoes, carrying the same dreams on their shoulders, or waking up every day with that voice inside urging you to become something more. They don't understand what it costs to stay in the same place, to ignore that inner calling, to let fear chain you to a life of good enough. And maybe they never will, but that's not your burden to carry. The weight of your mission belongs to you, and it's that same weight that will make you stronger. This isn't about proving anything to them. This is about becoming someone you can be proud of. No one's going to build your dream for you. No one's going to carry your load or make your sacrifices. And the harsh truth, no one's coming to rescue you. You are the builder. You are the force. You are the answer you've been waiting for. The future you want is yours, but only if you're willing to pay the price. And every single day you show up, tired or not, supported or alone, you cast another vote for the person you're becoming. That's power. That's ownership. That's real growth. So stop waiting for someone to validate your journey. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to go all in. Life doesn't pause until you feel ready. The world keeps moving, with or without you. And in that movement, you have a choice. Step forward into the unknown, or stay behind and wonder what if. The strength you need to climb higher won't come from praise or permission. It'll come from pushing forward when no one's clapping, when doubt surrounds you, when quitting looks easier than continuing. That's where real confidence is born. That's where transformation happens. There will be days when it all feels too heavy, days when it seems like the universe is testing every inch of your resolve. And in those moments, when exhaustion creeps in and doubt whispers loud, that's where you're forged. That's the line between average and extraordinary. Dig deeper. Lock in on your purpose. Remind yourself why you started and who you're becoming. You're not just working for today's results. You're building a version of yourself that doesn't flinch in the face of pressure, that doesn't fold when things get hard. And while others may never understand your journey, that's okay. Because in the end, the only thing that will matter is that you stayed the course, that you stayed true, that you didn't quit, and that, more than anything, is what makes you unstoppable. Section 6. Let them wonder. When they look at you with confusion, trying to make sense of how you kept going when it made no sense to, just smile. Let them wonder. Because they were never meant to understand your path. Your journey wasn't theirs to follow. It was yours to conquer. You didn't do this for the applause, for recognition, or for validation. You did it because something inside you refused to settle. And one day, when the results are undeniable, when the vision becomes reality, you won't need to explain a thing. The work will speak, the results will echo, and the silence from the doubters will say more than words ever could. Because every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, every ounce of pain you endured, it mattered. It built something no one can take away from you. Identity, grit, purpose. This isn't just about success. This is about becoming. About living with urgency and showing up with fire in your eyes. So don't just go through the motions. Live deliberately. Wake up with intention. Carry your mission like armor. And when they ask how you did it, let your life be the answer. Let your progress be the proof. Let your success be the only explanation you'll ever need. You were never looking for their approval anyway. You didn't need anyone to co-sign your dream. What you needed, and found, was belief. Belief in the unseen. Belief in who you could become. That's the kind of belief that doesn't fade when things get hard. It sharpens. It multiplies. And when you realize the journey is yours alone, that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you tap into something most people never reach. You stop chasing applause and start chasing growth. You stop worrying who sees you and start becoming someone worth seeing. And by the time they notice, it won't even matter. Because you'll already be gone, moving forward, leveling up, becoming more. This world will try to keep you small. It will distract you with comfort, with criticism, with people who want you to fold so they don't have to face their own reflections. But you're not here to stay quiet. You're here to shatter ceilings, to rise beyond what they expected, what you once thought was possible. Let their noise fade into the background. You have work to do. You have mountains to climb. And while they may never understand the fire that drives you, they'll feel the heat when you pass by. Keep your head down, keep your heart open, and keep going. Because the life you're building isn't for their approval. It's for your legacy. Section 7. The truth they won't tell you. Here's the part most people won't admit. Not to you, and not even to themselves. They're terrified of their own greatness. Deep down, they know they're capable of more. But the cost of rising is too high for them. So they shrink. They trade ambition for comfort, potential for safety. And when they see someone like you, someone who dares to rise, they don't know how to react. They criticize. They dismiss. They say you're moving too fast, too hard, too far. But what they're really saying is, I'm afraid to do what you're doing. Their fear disguises itself as advice, but their words are reflections of their own limitations, not yours. But you've heard it all before, haven't you? The doubts, the warnings, the voices telling you to be realistic, and yet you're still standing, still moving, still grinding, because you know something they don't. Success is born in silence, in the late nights when no one is cheering you on, in the mornings when your body aches and your mind whispers, quit. It's in those invisible battles where champions are made. The spotlight is a consequence, not the goal. What matters is how you show up when no one else is watching. That's when your purpose is tested. That's when you choose whether to rise or retreat. This road isn't supposed to be easy, but it is yours, and that means it's worth it. Own every step. Embrace every scar. Because even when they don't get it, even when they doubt your every move, your journey continues. And one day, when the pieces fall into place, when the vision becomes reality, they'll finally see what you saw all along. But by then, their understanding won't matter. You won't be waiting for their applause. You'll already be living the reward. The grind, the struggle, the endless effort, it all adds up to something they could never take from you. Something you built with your own hands, forged in your own fire. And that's the beautiful irony. The people who told you to give up, they won't be there when you win. The ones who said you weren't good enough will be the ones asking how you did it. But they'll never truly understand the price you paid. They'll still be stuck in cycles of hesitation while you stand tall in a life you created with blood, sweat, and clarity of vision. Because in the end, success isn't about making everyone else understand. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you didn't fold. You didn't stop. You didn't let fear have the final word. You earned every bit of what you've become, and that is something no one can ever take from you. Section 8, built through relentless action. Success isn't granted, it's earned. Earned by waking up and showing up, especially on the days when you feel like doing anything but that. It's in those moments, when comfort tempts you and distractions call your name, that you define who you are. The people who doubted you, who said it couldn't be done, they won't matter in the end. What will matter is that you proved something far more powerful, not to them, but to yourself. You proved that you were willing to sacrifice comfort, endure struggle, and keep moving forward for the life you truly wanted. And that kind of victory, that's unshakable. No one can touch it. No one can take it away from you. Let them doubt. Let them question. Let them stand on the sidelines while you put in the work. Their opinions don't stop you. They ignite you. Every time someone underestimates you, it becomes fuel. Every time someone calls your dream unrealistic, your fire grows stronger. You're not waiting for approval, and you're not slowing down for anyone's comfort. You're here for the climb. You're here to finish what you started. And if anyone is still hoping you'll give up, they're in for a long wait, because you're not quitting. Not now, not ever. This journey is about you, and it's always been about becoming something greater than the world can comprehend. You're not doing this for applause or attention. You're doing it because there's a version of you out there waiting to be realized. That's your motivation. That's your compass. When others are busy complaining, you're executing. When others hesitate, you take the leap. And while some sit around predicting your failure, you're quietly stacking wins. And in the end, when you're standing tall and the work has paid off, you won't need to say anything. The results will speak for themselves. The only validation that matters is the one that comes from within. The quiet, unshakable knowing that it was all worth it. So hold your head high, keep your vision clear, and protect your passion like it's sacred, because it is. Your journey doesn't have to be understood by anyone else. It wasn't designed to be ordinary, and neither were you. You were made for something bigger. While the world searches for shortcuts and comfort zones, you're grinding through the hard way, the right way. That's what separates you. That's what puts you in the arena while others sit in the crowd. Most people are too busy blaming their circumstances to change them. But you've decided to own your story, to write it with grit, determination, and relentless drive. You're not here to coast. You're here to conquer. And you will. This isn't about convenience. This is about commitment. It's about standing up on the days when staying down would be easier. It's about confronting the discomfort, showing up when you're running on empty, and finding the strength buried beneath exhaustion. It's the grind that nobody glamorizes, the unseen hours, the internal battles, the relentless discipline. Growth doesn't come wrapped in ease. It's forged in the fire of consistency. When everything in you screams to stop, that's where transformation begins. Real progress doesn't happen when it's sunny and calm. It's born in storms. It happens in silence when no one is watching, when no praise is given. That's the space where character is built. Kobe Bryant once said, "Great things come from hard work and perseverance, no excuses." It's not about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about acting in spite of them. This is the mindset that separates those who dream from those who do. When you face the hard days head on, you're not just getting through them, you're sculpting yourself into someone stronger. With each step into discomfort, you strip away weakness, excuse, and fear. What's left is raw, unshakable resilience. You don't become unbreakable by avoiding pressure. You become unbreakable by walking through it again and again. That's where your identity as a high performer is built, in the fire, not in the comfort. There is no shortcut. There is only the process. It's ruthless at times, and it will test your resolve. But the truth is, if you want something rare, you must do something rare. You must be willing to do the work, to face the ugly moments, and still move forward with purpose. This isn't about luck. It's about showing up, with intention, with grit, with your entire being, every single day. This is your story, not theirs, and that's what makes it powerful. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to honor your vision, to follow that inner fire that refuses to go out, no matter how dark the road gets. People may talk, they may doubt, but they don't see the quiet nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices you've made in silence. They don't carry your vision, you do. And that vision is sacred. It's yours to protect, to nurture, and to build, one brick at a time. Every step forward is a declaration that you will not be defined by circumstances, by critics, or by fear. The world may try to limit you, but you've chosen to be limitless. You've chosen to walk through the storms rather than wait for clearer skies. That choice, that discipline, that belief in something greater than the moment, that's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart. That's what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. One day when you look back, you won't remember the doubts. They'll be drowned out by your victories. You won't remember the people who said you couldn't. You'll remember how you did. You'll see the scars, not with shame, but with pride, because they're proof that you stayed in the fight. They're the marks of someone who refused to quit, and those are the people who changed the world, the ones who kept going when it would have been easier to stop. So keep walking, keep working, keep believing. You've come too far to turn around now. The road ahead may still be uncertain, but you're no longer the same person who began this journey. You're stronger, wiser, and more relentless than ever. This is more than just a goal. This is who you're becoming. And that version of you? That's the one the world needs to meet. So don't stop now. You're almost there.